One last regular season NBA splash play stream here. We're going to do what we always do on this channel, just strap in and compare my projections, some of the industry leaders out there like Stokastic, like our friends at Unabated. Also see what the best bets are on Unabated, a site that would put you up about $65,000, the latest update. You've been betting every bet 3 minutes before tip-off. It's got a 5% or higher ROI. I don't know why I'm mentioning that in the intro. But of course, we're also going to go to Stokastic, see the best DFS sims. By in this video, you know all the must plays and my splash plays for today's NBA slate. A gigantic one where every team is in action. Let's get into it. Q-tag tweet for the day. We got Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, two guys who played yesterday. I do not have them in the projections set right now because they weren't in this morning's one, and I just feel like they're not going to play. But, you know, if they do play, obviously we will account for that later on. But Jalen Brunson, Cat, two guys joining Anunoby and Josh Hart, might not be playing today. Josh Giddey, Jamal Murray, Norman Powell, Ivica Zubac, Klay Thompson, Quentin Grimes wrote for the DK Network, which I think was more of a fan letter to Quentin Grimes as much as it was an actual article helping out Unabated. But Quentin Grimes Q-tag today. If he is out, obviously Butler's going to look a lot better. Edwards will look better. Whoever's left at that point for the Sixers is going to look a lot better. Lonnie Walker, another obvious one. Dembona too. Shaden Sharp, Isaiah Collier, Jose Alvarado. And you got probable tags for LeBron, Giannis, Anthony Davis, Trae Young, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, doubtful, Denny Avdia, many of the Portland guys not going today, it looks like. Let's get into the projections here. And shout out to the chat. Appreciate being here. Appreciate the yos. Let's talk about March 24th. Yes, Quentin Grimes on the slate again today. Maybe. We'll see what happens today on, if we'll forget April 11th or we'll remember it forever, much like March 24th. Say his name and he appears. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Josh Giddey, junior prom, questionable. No, Josh Giddey, full go right now. He's holding off on all the high school antics because the polls are actually in the hunt, and he's been playing like a monster. That said, maybe not going to get a ton of Josh Giddey today. We'll get a ton of Nikola Jokic, the man to thumbnail. So last game out, the Western Conference we talked about earlier in the week, really competitive right now. Every team about a half game ahead, behind is where it's at right now. Denver playing to stay where they are. A $13K salary for Jokic, who played almost 38 minutes last game for Denver. No Jamal Murray again, so Jokic projects incredibly well today. The team total for Denver, 125.8, so a very nice number going against Memphis, who again has not been playing as fast-paced, but is playing a lot of Zach Edey out there at center, so something that we expect Nikola Jokic to be able to kind of gobble up. And they should also still be competitive enough. So Nikola Jokic, highly projected. I'm getting him 93% of my top 150 lineups. Fields at 88%. It's a lot of Jokic, a guy on the last game, the last dying days here, maybe playing star players never feels that good at that high of a volume. But Jokic looks pretty good. So that's where we're getting him at right now. It is a lot of Jokic today. Giannis, opposite situation, probably would not want to play much of him. 2% for the field, I'm getting 3%, and even that I probably won't get when I have my final lineups done. For Giannis, got pulled early yesterday with the team up about 14. Bucks playing to stay ahead of the Pistons, but they really don't have to do much to do that. Tonight they are playing the Pistons, though, so maybe you get a few more minutes out of Giannis, I suppose. But I still think the Bucks wouldn't mind sliding back. I don't think they have a preference on who they face. And currently, right now, I think they're planning on facing the Pacers. But if they slide back and face the Knicks, they're still, not the home team anyway. So, or not getting the home field advantage, home court advantage. So for Giannis, I think he's still an okay play here, and maybe a way if you want to get unique from Jokic. Maybe Milwaukee goes full go and Giannis goes nuts, and Jokic, I don't know, hurts himself, has congenital heart defects, something like that. Josh Giddey, high salary for him. He's been going nuts. It is mostly full-strength Bulls at this point. Still no Trey Jones out there. We're getting Kobe White in again. You still have Vucevic and you still have Herter in. I'm not sure that Giddey's a play I can really get to projection-wise. That said, in the sim, I got 15%, Fields at 10. You'll have enough money to spend around to get some Josh Giddey if you want. Might even be possible to play Jokic and Giddey together, depending on how some of the value works out tonight. Some of the starting lineups work out. But I think for Josh Giddey, he's been going nuts. A little bit hard to project how nuts he's been going, but he has been playing well, and the Bulls are playing to have the best possible positioning in the play-in. Sabonis, not on the DraftKings slate, so not going to worry about him really. There's too many games. Trae Young, 27% for me, 15% for the field for him. He looks okay as well. Kind of surprising to see him be a probable tag, but Atlanta is also playing to hold off teams like the Bulls right now in that play-in seeding. They're playing Philly, who does play a little bit lower pace, but still really high total for Atlanta with 125.8 implied points. So no issue with Trae Young today. I think as chalk yesterday, maybe not one of the better plays in the slate, but here he looks okay again. You'll have enough money to spend around to get there. Cade Cunningham, James Harden, FanDuel slate, same deal there. Cade Cunningham, 3% for the field. I'm getting 6%. he is playing for something. They are trying to pass the Bucks up, and they can gain that game. And I guess if they win on Sunday, then and the Bucks were to lose, they'd move ahead in that spot. And for nothing else for Detroit, maybe that'd be a thing they could pat themselves on the back on in this year where they're being taken more seriously as a team. So expect Cade to be full go. It's just he doesn't project terribly well. Would rather play Trae Young at a cheaper salary. Would rather have Josh Giddey, a similar salary. It's also a little bit cheaper. I think for Cade, that's where he's falling right now, but it does make him less owned. So you'll have, again, enough money to afford him if you want to go there. And if you want to get leverage against Jokic and just play some of these other guys that are expensive, high dollar guys with similar ceilings theoretically, you could certainly do that today. And Cade's one of those guys. Quentin Grimes, if he's in, he played 30 minutes last game, also went nuts with just shy of 50 fantasy points, despite shooting 4 for 17 in that game. If he shot a little bit better, you're talking about mid-50s, maybe even 60 fantasy points. So for Grimes here, if he plays, I don't know that he's a priority play for me. Got him 0% in my lineup so far. I don't know that I trust the minutes being high enough for him right now, especially if he is a little bit banged up at this point of the season, which wouldn't be a surprise given how he kind of got thrust into a larger usage role. And he hasn't missed a lot of games throughout the year anyway, even when he's playing kind of role player work across Dallas and Philadelphia. So for Quentin Grimes, I think he's a play today. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a Grimes day, but get a little bit ceremonially here because it'll be the last slate I'm playing that he's going to be on because I don't plan on playing on Sunday because we got too much family shit going on. And frankly, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this again, man. I'd update all the projections myself today because Stokastic an update before the show, and I want to make sure we have good data or as good data as we can possibly have. And oh my God, it was the most laborious rotational updating stuff in the world for today in particular. Sunday, I'm sure, is going to be even worse. Goga Bitadze. So he's the big one here that's changed from the morning. So I really couldn't get him as much as I would normally get him because he didn't project that well in Stokastic's data this morning. They had Wendell Carter in. They had the other guys from the Magic in, Paolo Banchero, KCP, Franz Wagner. They were all Q tags this morning. And now those guys are out. Goga Bitadze should be the beneficiary here rate-wise. He comes up quite a bit. Bitadze for Orlando with all the key players not available. He's put up 1.2 fantasy points permitted on 19% usage, 21% rebound rate, 22% assist rate as well. So the ball kind of flowing through his hands in that mini Jokic way we're always looking for from our Şengün's or other guys filling in. So for Bitadze, I think he's now one of the best plays in the slate. Projects really highly for me. I think maybe when the Stokastic minutes will come in, they'll give him more like 28 minutes. That'll knock him down a little bit. But I think he, to me, right now looks like one of the best values on the slate. So Bitadze at center, I think, is one of your plays. Got him 55%. It's going to be a lot higher when the final sim runs. Tyler Hero, 7% for me, 3% for the field. Not a big stand there. Your top projected guys besides Jokic don't look that good, which is why you're going to get a ton of Jokic today if you're playing any lineups at all. We're going to sort by value next. Check the chats too. Appreciate you being here, YSN. Appreciate all you guys watching. And again, if you're watching these videos at this point of the year and you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do that. Of course, hit the like button as well. It goes a long way for me here. Just one guy trying to make sure to give you guys the best data I can for the NBA. And next week as well, we're going to have the schedule moving around a little bit. So make sure you hit the notification bell because we're going to have no NBA on Monday. I might do MLB. I might also take a little bit of time to kind of get myself mentally in line for the next stage of content we'll be doing here. But definitely going to be doing some play-in content on the channel next week for the bigger tournaments, hopefully on DraftKings. So hit the like button, subscribe, and again, just come hang out and unsponsored shows too. So really now, if you want to support the channel, it'd be a great time to do it. $5 to join here. You can also get access to my projections. We'll keep going throughout the playoffs as well. If you want to get one of the higher dollar tiers there, the Squirt Squad tier or the VIP tier. But join the show if you can. Join the channel if you can. Join the Discord if you can. Because it all does support the work I'm trying to do here and keep you guys an unbiased take for the most part here on these slates, besides for Quentin Grimes. Goga Bitadze, your top projected guy here in terms of value. Not a surprise with what we just saw here. So that's what it looks like. Is Bitadze a way better play than Bryant? I would say so, because Bryant has a natural pivot behind him. Goga Bitadze, they're going to play Jonathan Isaac behind him a little bit, but Isaac himself is probably not capable of playing a ton of minutes at this. Well, I guess he could play minutes. We just haven't seen it happen for a while. And with his history, I don't know why you'd trot him out for like 25 minutes today, knowing that he's got his future to plan for. So Bitadze, they have to play bigs in this matchup. That's really the main thing, and he's been really good when he has gotten the court time. So I think Bitadze is a better play. I think Toppin would be the player I want more on the Indiana side. And I think Tony Bradley kind of live, but I don't know if you want to play Bitadze and another cheap backup center that feels maybe you're not getting enough upside there. So Indiana guys, I kind of give placeholder minutes to because I'm not really sure how this rotation looks. There's not been many situations. There's been no situations where you have Siakam out, also Nembhard out, in addition to Halliburton out, Miles Turner out, Even the second tier guys like Ben Shepherd are out. So I assume for Indiana, they're going to have like their G League guys available. I think you get minutes from Ray J. Dennis. They get minutes from Quentin Jackson. I don't really know how much, so I gave them about 24.5 for Ray J. Dennis, 27.5 for Quentin Jackson. It makes these guys project pretty decently. They're not great plays, but they are guys that shoot pretty well, have decent, per 100 possession numbers, and they're going to be filling in for guys leaving a lot of potential points, a lot of possessions behind. And frankly, this game could probably play a lot looser than the Orlando numbers will give normally too, because not going to say Orlando defense with the guys they have out. So Indiana guys, be prepared to get some of them here. The starters will be the main thing to watch out for here, because I don't know that McConnell starts either for Indiana. And at that point, I mean, I don't even, well, we'll speculate on Indiana when we go game by game. Try to save some time here. Tony Bradley here, another Indiana Pacer. Again, gave him about 21 minutes, gave him basically whatever minutes that Thomas Bryant's not playing. If Bradley plays well, he could theoretically steal a few minutes. He's a better per minute guy than Thomas Bryant, but still not a play I'm going to get in the sim because he wasn't in this initial batch of Stokastic data using the updates that I had to do myself. Antonio Reeves got 56%. Field is also at 56%. He played really well yesterday. Unfortunately, Quinones outshined him a little bit. The real issue with the Pelicans yesterday was that they were all pretty good. Besides Kyler Kelly, they all did like about 30 fantasy points of production in different ways as well, where Elfrid Payton still didn't shoot. I think got 4 shots up in that game, but had a ton of assists. I think had 15 assists or something. You also had Reeves getting there, Quinones getting there, even Brooks and Kane getting there, along with Jeremiah Robinson Earl. So for the Pelicans, again, similar situation. The issue right now, Jose Alvarado's a Q tag. If Alvarado's in, kind of knocks down everybody a little bit. I would still have Reeves in for about 36.5 minutes, though. 33.3 projection for me, so he would look good. Tristan da Silva, technically a big winner from having all the various Magic stars out. The issue, he's not a great per minute guy, but 3K salary, playing 31 minutes. These are the kind of guys that sometimes have days that don't really align with their projections on the home stretch. I would love to see a Cole Anthony or somebody get out. I don't know if it's going to happen. To feel like da Silva is going to really be locked into getting the usage that he needs to get where he needs to go. But he can get hot from 3. He can add a few rebounds, even a few blocks. So da Silva, I think, will be an interesting play today at 3K, but he doesn't look fantastic in the projections, even giving him 31 minutes. Obi Toppin, I think, looks really good. He'll play, theoretically, the entire amount of 4 that Pascal Siakam leaves behind. Can also play some backup 5, but I think they'll play Tony Bradley behind Bryant instead. But Obi Toppin here, he could be the closing 5, I guess would be a better way to put that. Obi Toppin at 4,500, not quite that 3K easy value you want to plug in where there's not a lot of downside, but I think he's got enough upside as well. I think it could be easy for him to get to, I wouldn't say easy, but like there's a good chance it'll get you to the highest ceiling here of like 45 fantasy points, especially given the matchup they have today with Orlando not being full go. So for Indiana on their side, I like them in general because they have so many guys leaving possessions and opportunity behind. But Toppin has been a guy that's filled in before and been great with it. So I think he's in a good spot. Muklashvili for the FanDuel slate looks pretty good with the 23 minutes projected for him. Jared Rhoden, so he's not the one who got signed by the Raptors to a full contract. It was AJ Lawson. But Rhoden still playing for maybe something here at 4,100, getting some more minutes because the Raptors are not playing a bunch of guys. I think Scotty Barnes also a Q tag. So if he's out as well, it'll make things look a little more secure for Rhoden and Lawson in particular. You also lost some guys for this Raptors rotation where Orlando Robinson got waived, Cole Swider got waived. So theoretically, just more rebounds to go around. Mobo probably gets a few more minutes as well. Rhoden, a nice value here, got 30% in my sim. That's going to move around, though, if there's better value that opens up. But as of right now, he looks like one of the better values on the slate. Thomas Bryant, lower projected for me than Goga Bitadze by a pretty wide margin. I'd have Bitadze about 15 fantasy points higher. If I gave him the same minutes, it would still be about 10 fantasy points higher. So Thomas Bryant in play, but to me, not as strong of a play as Bitadze, not as strong of a play as Toppin. But he can crush at 3,500, so really no issue with him. And Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 29 minutes is the projection for him. Certainly can get, probably can't get much higher because at this point, it's just Alvarado being out's the main thing. We already know that Yves Missy's out and Olynyk also out. So Robinson Earl, 53% for the field. I got 45. He put up about 30 fantasy points yesterday as well. He looks fine, started too. So not a bad situation for Robinson Earl again, even though he's not the most exciting value in the world. Top is part of the regular rotation. I'd be careful with some of those types of guys. I mean, maybe, I guess it's possible they could limit his minutes a little bit. Again, we'll see what Stokastic gives these guys minutes-wise when they update. I think that for Toppin, though, he'd probably get his full amount of run. Like, he's in the rotation, but he's not a guy you're holding out entirely. I guess it's possible they would minutes limit it, but I don't think so. Figured Craig Porter would make the list. We'll see what we can get there, but he's not close enough. You still have Garland in, you still have Mobley in. There's it's not full run of the house for Craig Porter, even though he will gain a little bit more from having Mitchell out in addition to Ty Jerome. All right, so we're going to go game by game here and try to make it happen as fast as possible because we got a ton of games to go through. I will point out, I don't have data for the OKC-Utah game because my data sheet broke from having every single player available on the slate. It got to be too big, and then it wasn't working on this, so I had to cut something out here. That game's on FanDuel. It's not on DraftKings, so for OKC, you kind of know the deal there. Play whoever's available for the most part. Aaron Wiggins in particular, be my kind of guy. Jalen Williams, also my kind of guy. Given the fact they know they're bigs. But besides that, just not going to cover that game here. And also the Lakers game is not on any slate at all. So that's not in my data either. I don't know why I'm saying that because I don't know who's going to even notice or care. But for me, just because I like to have accurate data here, pointing it out in advance. Milwaukee, 112.5 implied points yesterday. Shortened minutes for Giannis, short minutes for Brook Lopez, who both got banged up there. They were up enough versus the Pelicans. Hard to gauge out what the motivation will be here with Milwaukee. I still have felt like they really don't care if they take the 5 spot or the 6 spot. As long as you're not in the play-in, it really doesn't matter because you're not getting home court advantage anyway. For Giannis, though, he is a live pivot theoretically to Jokic. If Milwaukee cares more about this game and he is full go and if he plays 30 minutes, maybe he can beat out Jokic or play in this kind of slate. Maybe him and Jokic is a way to get unique and they both put up 80 fantasy points somehow. But I would tend to think that Milwaukee cares about this less. Right now, Giannis is like under a 4x value, playing only 28 minutes. He really needs to get into the 30s or be crazy productive in his amount of time to get there. And you're taking on a lot of risk for the first game on the slate. For Detroit on their side, Cade Cunningham, 2x the field for me right now. But again, he doesn't look fantastic. That said, if you don't want to play Jokic or if you want to play somebody in addition to Jokic, Michigan Cade, Michigan Trae Young, Michigan, whatever the high dollar guys are, they're actually playing matters. And Detroit is playing against to try to maybe move up ahead of Milwaukee symbolically, if not for the matchup itself versus Indiana. So for Cade Cunningham, he looks okay. Nothing else stands out too much. Duren, you can take a shot on too. He's been good enough lately, but no Isaiah Stewart. That sometimes means Duren gets a little bit more minutes and Paul Reed ends up closer to 15. So maybe that's something that happens for Detroit today. But Duren, not a priority for me. We've talked enough about Bitadze. He looks great. He looks like a 12x value to me right now if he's going to play 31 minutes. I think Stokastic will probably give him more like 28.5 minutes or something, and he'll still look to me like about a 36, 37 fantasy point play at 3,400. So to me, Goga Bitadze looks like a pretty much in every lineup play. I mean, he's always been good when he's gotten minutes out there. They're going to have enough bigs for Indiana anyway. And Bitadze is the only big that's left for Orlando besides Jonathan Isaac, who knows how many minutes he could play at this point. Indiana, we'll see what happens when we get updated data for Stokastic because they did not have all these guys out initially. So the sim will then not show all the guys enough. As it is, though, Mathurin, I feel like it's hard to project him to get into the 30s minutes because I think he's enough of a key part of the rotation. He's their 6th man. I think Toppin gets full run of things because I guess they could play Enrique Freeman. They could play Jarris Walker. Maybe, I think it's a fair point by Art Cathelza that maybe you do want to watch out for Toppin's minutes because there are guys you can avoid. I think it's a difference between Bitadze and these plays is like, okay, if they don't want to give Thomas Bryant all the run because they're worried, don't want to hurt their primary center backup, they could still play Tony Bradley in this game. They could still play Enrique Freeman. They could still play James Johnson. If they don't want to play Obi Toppin because they want to make sure that he's okay and good to go, they could still play Jarris Walker. They could play James Johnson. They could play Freeman. They could play enough guys here. So whenever you have that kind of downside minutes risk, I think not locking in a Toppin would be logical. So I will give Arcathelsa credit. I think that's a good point that I maybe got a little too excited for Obi Toppin about. But I think Bitadze would be an example. I just think there's a flip side for him where he wouldn't play, to me, 30 minutes, but at the very least high 20s. Atlanta here, getting a lot of Trae Young because all the value on the slate. He's like a Cade Cunningham. They're trying to get equal amounts of those guys would be fine to me. Atlanta, though, really nice total with 125.8 implied points. So Okongwu looks pretty good again for me. Dyson Daniels looks pretty good. These guys I've gotten a lot this year in lieu of Trae Young. As it is right now, getting good amounts of them all seems fine. But really not big priorities here. Atlanta, though, is playing for something, so put them on the list of like, hey, these guys are probably going to be full go today. And Philadelphia, for what it's worth, has been competitive more than it seems. Probably less of a chance of that if Grimes is out, but they're feisty enough to hang in maybe. On Philadelphia's side, not really getting Grimes today if he's going to play 30 minutes like he did last game. When he was playing high 30s, I thought it was a really good play over and over again, and obviously he's been a good enough play, but he's much cheaper. Now at 9,300, it's really expensive for him. He did put up 49.5 fantasy points, only hitting 4 shots from the floor last game, so like he's playing well, I think, right now in ways that he hasn't necessarily hit the ceiling before as much. So maybe you could take shots on him as well. I'm not getting him currently. Wouldn't shock me to see a little bit, though, in my final lineups. Lonnie Walker, not as good of a value at 6,200. There's going to be better values on the slate. That said, he's had a pretty good ceiling lately. I think the price is up enough, though. I can't see getting there a ton. Adem Bonus, same thing. Jared Butler, Stokastic loves to feed him you on the sim. He can play better, I think, if Grimes is out. And if Grimes is out, these guys all become worth a look again. It's a nice total for Philadelphia, about 115 implied points for them, which is higher than their season average by about 5. So it's reflecting here that Philadelphia should have some success. But I think you need Grimes out to get to these guys at these price tags, so I probably wouldn't be there. Dalton also went nuts last game, but he was also playing in the DMV, which is his home area. So that's part of why he went nuts. Probably would not go crazy on assuming he does that again. Unless Grimes is out, then I think he's in the mix, and we'll see what he can do. Charlotte, I got nothing. Their total here. No Bridges. None of the usual guys have been out for the season. Mark Williams playing, though, so we're not getting Nurkic, not getting Diabate, who's back in as well. Charlotte, to me, crowded rotation. Nobody stands out. Nick Smith has had really good usage. Maybe he's a guy that gets kind of looked over. He's not as good of a value as the other guys. We just saw him put up 55-ish fantasy points the other day. So for Nick Smith, maybe he's the one that stands out, but you don't get a ton of. I got only 5% in the sim. Fields at 2%, but I have a decent projection on him. Like if he were 26 fantasy points at 4,400 on normal slates, you'd go, Nick Smith, like pretty good play. It's just that we're in silly times right now in terms of the NBA. For Boston, nothing here. These guys are not guaranteed to play minutes. They're locked in their spots. Jaylen Brown is out, so you give a little bit of a rate boost, but these guys shouldn't be full go. They'd probably make an appearance for the home fans and then pull the plug third quarter, be my guess. Cleveland, same thing it feels like here, though hard to project minutes-wise. I think Stokastic did a good job with it. I didn't really tweak the minutes here. About 24 minutes for Mobley, 25-ish for Garland, 24 for Allen. You're basically getting these guys at limited minutes. It kind of makes everybody unplayable here. Craig Porter Jr., an okay value. He's likely soaking up that Ty Jerome role. Maybe a faint chance of starting, though I don't think it's the most likely. But he'll play mid-20s minutes, I think, no matter what. He's not a great producer, but he's an okay shooter at 62% true shooting, so maybe gets his usage up, starts to knock down some shots, gets hot. I think that's a possibility, but Craig Porter Jr. to me, okay value here. Guy you'd be curious about on other slates, but still not a great play even on other slates with a 23 projection at 3,500. New York, as I talked about here, I did not put Towns and Brunson back in yet. Brunson got hurt yesterday, came back in the game. Towns, I mean, we'll see. He's got the knee thing. Towns, Brunson, Hart, Anunoby, all Q tags today. If they're all out, whoever's left is going to look good. Achua at 4,200 become a lot better play. He was unfortunately a casualty of yesterday's slate for me, where he projected like a good value. I didn't have him at the ceiling that he had. Today I have for 23.4 fantasy points with Mitchell Robinson back in. But I think if you get Hart and Anunoby out, the minutes for Achua go up again. He probably soaks up a lot of usage again. So Achua not looking like a priority play right now, but he will be if you get all these guys out. As it is right now, Hart in, Bridges in, about 9 to 15%, and Anunoby about 5%. These guys are all okay plays because of Towns and Brunson not being in, but the Knicks minutes, they're going to be the least Tibbs-like minutes you're going to ever see. Unless you get all the star players out, then you're probably getting getting a ton of run. For Washington here, not a big Alex Sarr day for me. 6% Fields at 14. He still does project pretty well. 5.66 value. I'm at about a 36.4 projection. Stokastic has been at 37.1. You have no Jordan Poole here again. The rest of the Wizards that haven't been playing are also not playing. Rotation getting a little bit short as a result. Justin Champagnie looks pretty good. About a third of my lineups. I think that'll come down now with the new value coming into the slate. But he'll be an okay play. Been a good producer. About 1 fantasy point per minute be my projection for him today. Vucevic looking okay, but with Sarr in, hard to really love the full ceiling there. But getting him at 14%, there's going to be better values in the slate, I think. In particular, at the same price point or a little bit cheaper, Goga Bitadze. So a little bit hard for me to get to Vucevic. Maybe that gives them some tournament upside. But Washington, hard to love here. They're just done. Chicago, 127 implied points on their side. So playing a shitty Washington team, and they've been playing super legit. I do think Giddey, you want to lump in with your Cade Cunninghams, your Trae Youngs in the slate, get some Giddey here, even though the projection is not fantastic. The ceiling is still there, and Chicago's still trying. Kobe White, maybe if he scores some more points, Giddey fails, and Giddey, with recent box scores, people will probably chase Giddey a little bit, so maybe some game theory logic in Kobe White at 1% ownership. Vucevic, I don't see how people will play 26% of him. I got him at 8. I think Giddey's the play you really want here, but again, if Giddey fails, Vucevic in this kind of soft matchup, maybe he can get there. Maybe he'll take a front to the other guy on the Wizards being named Vucevic. Who knows? A Serbian war that they've known for years. I hope they're Serbian. But a war that between those families, who knows? Maybe there's some reason why he'll go off today, but I'd really prefer Giddey and White as more of a leverage play. But really fundamentally not a difference between White and Nikola Vucevic to me. Besides positionality and all that, obviously. Miami, nothing to really note here. Full health lineup. Yeah, that's it. Miami doesn't feel like a team you play today, but they're still playing legit minutes, playing for positioning, I guess. So Miami still full go. New Orleans on their side, getting a lot of New Orleans again, most likely. If Alvarado is in, it's not as clean of a play, not just that 8-man rotation we're looking for that we got yesterday. But if Alvarado is in, I don't think you play him. I still think you're getting enough minutes for Reeves, probably less minutes for Elfrid Payton, I think would be the biggest thing if Alvarado is in. If Alvarado's out, I think you're good to go with everybody again. Total's not great today. People have probably chased Lester Quinones a little bit more. I think getting him with the field feels fine. Got 29%, fields at 18. Robinson Earl, 45%, fields at 53. Reeves, 56%, fields at 56. Makovich, 40%, fields at 43. You have to get some Pelicans. I think, again, the spot versus Miami, a little bit unappealing, but it was unappealing last night versus Milwaukee, and you had like 7 guys putting up 30 fantasy points. So it just is what it is. Get Alvarado out, though. That's really the ideal. Toronto here feels odd that Barnes will be playing. Feels like maybe, and it's not even a home game. So, like we talked about with Toronto the other day, I don't know why you trot him out at this point. But Barnes in the rotation right now, getting 20 minutes. Feels like he doesn't play a full run no matter what. Mobo's gone nuts recently. Price tag's up to 5,500, though. He's power forward center, so you could still play him. He's got upside. Tougher matchup, obviously, going against Anthony Davis on the other side today. Jamal Shed looking okay, playing good minutes lately. 15% for the top 150, 16% for the field. Carlo has a Q tag now? Okay, well, if he doesn't go, at that point, Kyler Kelly and Jeremiah Robinson Earl are the only big men left. So, if Carlo plays, he's a good play. You guys know the deal. If he doesn't play, then those other guys come up a lot. Robinson Earl in particular, but Kyler Kelly sucks, but he'll have unlimited minutes at 3,100. Lawson coming up a little bit here, got his new deal. The one risk I would say is that sometimes when the guys get the new contract, Tyrese Smart would be another case. They sometimes can fall a little bit down the rotation. It's like, all right, cool, you got your money here. Let's see these other guys who haven't earned a new deal yet. So that's one risk I would have here. But, Roden and Lawson, I think functionally a very similar play. I've Roden higher projected at 31.1, Lawson at 30.7. But really, I think they should be treated the same way. Got 30% Roden, 40% Lawson. I think you want some exposure here. Dallas, I got nothing. Anthony Davis does kind of fit the criteria of the Cade Cunninghams, Trae Youngs, etc. Josh Giddey's, where if you don't go to Jokic and you go to Davis and somebody else, maybe that hits enough of a ceiling there. You get 2 guys putting up 70 and instead of just Jokic putting up 70. So there's some way for this to work out with AD. I find it hard to project. Really didn't give him any big boosts. Just gave him the rates he's had so far in the Mavs, and they're not great. Blue Jays O's postponed for you baseball people. There you go. So tough scene there. I did not play any slates today. Too much NBA to even consider MLB for me. Memphis, 118.8 implied points. Not a lot to love here. Ja Morant, he's speaking Ja. He's the fucking talking about his grenade celebration. If you missed that quote, really a batshit quote from him on Twitter. He is playing well. He's really the only beneficiary of this coaching change, it seems like, besides Zach Edey getting some more minutes. I think Ja's an okay play. Again, same thing as that Trae Young, Cade Cunningham's here. And in fact, you can maybe afford a Ja Morant plus somebody else. So at 9K, he doesn't project terribly well, but he does have the upside, obviously, especially in a spot where you get him and Jokic together, maybe in a competitive game. That could pay off. Bane, not so much into these days. The usage has been down with the new coaching staff. Same thing for Jaren Jackson. Still getting 10% of him, though. Fields at 5%. Price tags come down. For Edey, 3%. Hard to imagine him not getting killed by Jokic, but he should be out there a good amount, trying to at least provide some size against him. So Zach Edey's playing a good amount of minutes, projected for 29.4 today, and he can get to 30. So I think Zach Edey is okay. But, not as much of a standout play on paper as some of the cheaper value centers like Bitadze. Scottie Pippen Jr. coming up here. He's been playing enough minutes, 13% for me in my top of 50, fields 11. Feels like on this slate, you don't really want a Scottie Pippen, but he's playing regular rotational minutes, seemingly benefiting from a new coaching staff as well. So competitive game, must-win game for both teams, as Durkin here is saying. So I think it's worth looking at Memphis more than this ownership has. Denver, ungodly amounts of Jokic. I think if you're playing Jokic, just maybe give a boost to the Memphis side. Just get some Morant, get some Pippen, get some Bane, some Jackson. I think in particular the top 3 would be nice. Otherwise, people are just going to be playing Jokic straight up. He's a good play as it is, but game stacking him is probably a better way for that to hit the full ceiling here and give you a shot. Jokic seems unfadeable. If you were to fade Jokic, boost Porter Jr., boost Brown, boost Gordon. Probably don't boost Russ because he's losing minutes to Jalen Pickett. But I would say, like, for Jokic to fail here and kill the field, it probably means MPJ, like, at least 2, but I think maybe 3 or 4. Like, you would see flames on Porter Jr., Brown, Gordon, and Pickett, because it would mean all those guys went nuts while Jokic, like, failed. That's your way to get the most direct leverage on him, but Jokic should still put up, I think, worst case to me is 60 fantasy points. He's like, projection wise, he's like 20 fantasy points and change higher than the next guy for me. I don't know how you fade Jokic functionally, but if you do fade him, play some more Nuggets. Loved Ja doing the grenade celly down 17 points last night against the Wolves. He's a smart one. He's just, he's just getting his thoughts out of his head, and then he's blocking out the noise. It's really not about a grenade at all when you think about it. Brooklyn, Drew Timme likely getting the start here, so maybe this is the day he pays off after all the talk about him in Stokastic Sims lately. Really not a backup center behind him. You'll get Wofford, I guess, functionally as a center, but frankly, he plays like point guard sometimes. So Timme could get to 30 minutes here, and it wouldn't be shocking. Not a great matchup going against Rudy Gobert and co. But Timme, 5% owned, and now he's like kind of a forgotten man. He's the kind of guy that would eat up this time of year. Still a pretty full rotation, but not in terms of big men. Nothing else in the Nets looks good because of that full rotation. And Woman is likely the actual backup center here. It's at least what happened last game for the Nets, that we had Timme as the starting center. And Woman is not a center at all. So he should get more minutes, but like he can get played off the court by, well, maybe not Naz Reid, but if he's against Gobert, he could get played off the court pretty fast. Minnesota, nothing looks that good. Anthony Edwards, though, fits that pay-up option guard criteria. Randall, not getting him much. He put up 50 fantasy points and change yesterday. I don't know why. That was not on my radar. But Minnesota, good total here again. They look playable enough, I guess, for the slate to suspend the money somewhere. But projection-wise, I can't see how they'd be priorities. And for your FanDuel stuff, here's San Antonio. Chris Paul looking good. You're down Vassell, down Keldon Johnson. So shortened rotation here in addition to Sohan. Phoenix here, still Devin Booker fighting for his life, but not playing enough minutes because they're done with everything. Golden State, I don't know. They get beat up on Portland. Portland's got nobody left. Think Shaedon Sharpe, Banton look good. If Sharpe is out, Banton's probably good on FanDuel. DraftKings late by a wide margin, one of the best plays. Clippers here. Harden looks okay as usual. Kawhi I wouldn't get to. Zubac, fine. Sacramento looks pretty much the same as always. I mean, some legit games down here, but frankly, glad we don't have them on the DraftKings slate. And that's the slate, guys. Again, if you can show some love, this is a lot of work, a lot of mental bandwidth. I do the best I can always here. In particular today, it's like a lot to kind of get everything mustered up. It's raining here too. It sucks. So please show some love, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Of course, it goes a long way for me here. Of course, just one guy doing the work here, showing you my work on stream every day. And that work includes our friends at Unabated, you're going to learn about right now in this this could be for the last time. I'm not going to air the video for free. We're still probably going to reflect on Unabated and some of the other stuff for betting things. But this is the last time for the video. So enjoy it here until Unabated hopefully renews, comes back into our love life next year. I don't know why I said our love life. To be clear, I'm not hooking up with Unabated. I guess I need to make that clear for anybody. But you know what you're going to... I could hook up with Unabated, though, with how much they've been winning people money. Of course, because they're in dynamic digital projections down the home stretch. Some really big date updates they had where you now would be up like a ton of money. I think $85,000 to place all the bets when they first come out here on stream. And then another $66,000 for all the time, 30 minutes for tip-off. So Unabated crushing. And of course, the graphs. There's the graphs. I should say graphs one more time. Really, Unabated's done great work here. I wish more of you guys had signed up, not just for me, but for yourselves, so you could evangelize the brand here. But they've gotten crazy results for their customers, and really impressive to be an Unabated customer. So looks like they haven't actually updated this graph data, but they did put it out on their Discord yesterday that now the numbers are up to $66,000 that you'd be up placing $100 bets, 30 minutes for tip-off, all the 5% or higher ROIs. And then same thing, if you place all the bets and the projections come out at 430, it's actually $85,000. So they had a really hot run with the first run of projections relative to markets. That's what you get with Unabated. It's professional betting data. It's not just, it's not even me who puts in a lot of work and has won money with my data. It's a team of guys that have won money for millions of people potentially across all the places they've been, like Justin Fan of Underdog, of Fantasy Labs, of Basketball Monster. Now he's at Unabated doing really great work. So I'll give him the full co-sign here as much as I can. They really have been a great partner. They've also been a great product to see, and to see people get results like that throughout the year. You don't see it very often in betting, so check it out for yourself. You see the promo code's still active there. It's going to continue to be active if you want to take a shot. You can use their market-based data or use the NBA projections for the rest of the playoffs here, and of course, regular season, the 2 days you have. 20% off, link down below, and crazy to see. Beating off to Unabated, great first NBA season. Thank you to our guy, Robert Griff III. I appreciate it. And that's super chat as well. Appreciate your support in general every day here, my friend, but also your money. I mean, real about it, especially now that Unabated's not sponsoring shows, boys. Let's get the panhandling here. Stream every day. Is this a panhandling graphic? I don't think so. All right, let's go to points. Read Tango Hotels. Graph me like one of your French girls as well. That was a good chat. Everyone chants along and bang your drums while feasting on charts. That's all you can ever do. All right. Points bets here. And again, 10 conditional projection sets today. We still should have enough bets, though. But Alvarado, Collier, Dinwiddie, Giddey, Grimes, Jamal Murray, Norman Powell, Shaedon Sharpe, Klay Thompson, Vika Zubac. So those teams we won't see in the projection set at all. I'm surprised they was Jamal Murray upgraded? Did I miss that? I missed the show? Because he was doubtful before. If Murray's upgraded, Jokic is going to come down a little bit, and that's going to fuck up the slate in terms of how I view it. But all right. Now let's pull in all these bets here and resort them. All your points bets. There we go. All right. Best points bets right now. Asar Thompson under 11.5 points. Minus 108 odds on FanDuel Sportsbook as your best bet right now. Getting you 13.1% EV. Still playable on PrizePicks. 10.9% EV on there. And DraftKings as well under 11.5 points for Asar Thompson. Looking good. Three books you can get it on. Tobias Harris. Best on Underdog, 14% EV for Tobias Harris under 15.5 points. You probably wouldn't play anywhere else, though, so only on Underdog, take Tobias Harris under 15.5 points. Vic Krejci under 7.5 points. Looking good in the pick'em sites, PrizePicks and Underdog. Playable as well on DraftKings, 11.4% EV for Vic Krejci under 7.5 points at minus 120 odds. Daquan, Murray's now questionable, so that's an upgrade. Fucking, I can't believe they're going to make us sweat this out. That's infuriating. Daquan Jeffries under 7.5 points, 12.3% EV on Underdog. Don't take it anywhere else because it's not available. Goga Bitadze under 12.5 points. I don't agree. What do I have Bitadze out? Just for funsies. I got Bitadze at 14.5, so I'm a little bit higher. I got 3 more points on Bitadze than Unabated does. Look, I like the over, but we trust the data here as always. Under 12.5 points for Goga Bitadze. On FanDuel in particular at minus 120 odds. Josh Okogie under 7.5 points, playable on your Underdog pick'ems, 10.3% EV for Okogie under 7.5 points. Mo Gay, well, we're getting Mo Gay one more time here on stream with over 6.5 points for him, 9.7% EV on FanDuel, playable on PrizePicks as well, where it's over 7 for Mo Gay. Jarris Walker under 12.5 points, minus 132 odds on FanDuel. It's at 9.7% EV, and those are your best points bets right now. Let's go to rebounds. All right. Beasley with the Q tag now. Well, I still won't play Tim Hardaway Jr. I'll tell you what, but it would make Cade look better, would make Tobias look better, would make Hardaway look better, would make Asar Thompson look better as well. But be prepared, guys. This is one of those slates, unfortunately. The game times tonight, before we get into the rebounds bets, you got 3 games at 7 o'clock. Milwaukee, Detroit, Orlando, Indiana, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Charlotte, Boston, 7:30, Cleveland, New York at 7:30. We need to know New York. Hopefully we'll know it before 7 East Coast time. Washington, Chicago, and Miami, New Orleans at 8. We need to know Giddey in particular. For the Chicago game, New Orleans, we need to know starters there. And Alvarado at 8:30, Toronto, Dallas. 9 o'clock is Memphis, Denver. And the same time as Brooklyn, Minnesota. So you'll have some swap ability if you got Murray ruled in, perhaps. You want to get off Jokic, you could move some guys to Minnesota, maybe take an Anthony Edwards. But everything comes down to to Memphis, Denver's time frame. So that's going to suck. Giddey's status is a Q tag, the last I saw. And Unabated has him as a 50% chance to play. So pure coin toss. Terrence Mann, 14.2% EV for over 3.5 rebounds. That one's good to go on PrizePicks. Also looking good on DraftKings, over 3.5 rebounds on there, 13.4% EV. Zachary Rizache under 3.5 rebounds, minus 115 odds on DraftKings looks the best. Playable everywhere though. So grand slam here for Zachary Rizache under 3.5 rebounds. Another guy went for 50 yesterday. I've not hit on Rizache once this year, and I would love it if you take the under today and make money on his failure, hopefully. George Niang under 3.5 rebounds, minus 154 odds on DraftKings, gives you 6% EV, but you can't play it anywhere else. Mo Gay, do I need to resort this? I'm not going to resort it. I'm just going to pull a few more. Jaden McDaniels under 5 rebounds, 20% EV. Oh, stop moving. Where's it going? Come back. All right, Terrence Mann read. Keon Johnson under 3.5 rebounds, good on Underdog, 13.7% EV. Dorian Finney-Smith under 4.5 rebounds, 11.7% EV on PrizePicks. Cade Cunningham over 5.5 rebounds. Oh, that one just left. Bye-bye, Cade line. Scotty Barnes under 6 rebounds, 11.1% EV, and worth noting, Unabated hasn't playing 25 minutes. Sis coming up next. Shout out Mike, another kind super chat here. Happy Friday. Thanks for all the work, Spags. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for being a part of the channel here and your support. Really do appreciate it at this point, especially now we're moving into unsponsored times. Hopefully it's something again for NFL season, but nobody wants to pony up for MLB, sadly. We'll get through here no matter what. But check the affiliate links. Join the channel as well. Get into the Discord. It's a way you can make sure that PBS-style content like this continues to come your way. Keon Johnson under 2.5 assists, plus 134 odds on FanDuel looks the best. 23.6% EV for Keon Johnson under 2.5 assists on FanDuel. Terrence Mann under 1.5 assists, good on DraftKings at plus 140 odds. Not good anywhere else for Terrence Mann under 1.5 assists. Dennis Schroeder under 4.5 assists, minus 118 odds on FanDuel gets you 14% EV, but you don't want it and you can't get it anywhere else. Karis LeVert over 2.5 assists, minus 154 odds on DraftKings, gets you 12.1% EV. Jaden McDaniels over 1.5 assists, minus 118 odds on PrizePicks, gets you 10% EV. Thank you. Dabble will come through. I hope so. They only want free ads, unfortunately, from people pretending to be enthusiastic Dabble customers in chat. We'll never forget. We'll never forget March 24th. We'll never forget Dabble fucking astroturfing this YouTube chat. Jaden McDaniels over 1.5 assists, 10% EV-ish on PrizePicks. Bub Carrington over 6.5 assists, good on FanDuel and on your pickup sites. Actually, same odds. For Bub Carrington over 6.5 assists, gets you 7.5% EV. And Dyson Daniels, 8.5% EV for over 4.5 assists, minus 108 odds on FanDuel, but you probably don't want it anywhere else. Last but not least, our PRAs. Our sweet, sweet PRAs. Putting rivets and asses. That's what we say for PRAs. Putting rabbits and asses? I would gladly have a playback channel that got hacked by porn and Hitler if it fucking paid me as much as playback pays people to do shows on there. Playback has, for whatever reason, one thing that's never reached out to me. I'll gladly stream. You guys can watch me sit on the couch and watch basketball. Well, I'll do it for 3 hours. I don't care. Playback, please call the number, not the gambling number. Asar Thompson, under 20. I don't know what they call my number anyway. That's not like I put my number out there. Under 21.5 PRAs for Asar Thompson. Looking very good on Underdog. 23% EV on there. 10% EV on PrizePicks. Your pickup site's good. For the Asar Thompson, under on 21.5 PRAs or 20 on PrizePicks. Keon Johnson, under 18.5 PRAs. Good on FanDuel. Minus 114 odds gets to 20% EV. Playable on Underdog as well. 7.5% EV on there. Malik Beasley, under 18.5 PRAs. Good on Underdog. 13.7% EV. I guess they just didn't care to update their PRA lines today. PrizePicks 9% EV as well. Beasley, though, Q tag. So if he doesn't play, cancels out. And if he plays hurt, maybe he comes on the under anyway. AJ Johnson, under 21 PRA, is good on PrizePicks. 10.9% EV. Playable on FanDuel as well with 6% EV for AJ Johnson, under 21 PRAs. Vic Krejci, under 12.5 PRAs, minus 115 odds on DraftKings. Looks good. Playable as well on your pick'em sites with 8.7% EV on Vic Krejci under 12.5 PRAs. No Grand Slam, though. No Grand Slams today. Sad to see it. Scotty Barnes, 7.1% EV under 26.5 PRAs. Good on your pickup sites, not on your regular sports books. And Jalen Duren under 29.5 PRAs. Good on Underdog, not good anywhere else. And that is our last journey through the world of Unabated, at least being compensated for it fully. So please do check out Unabated again. They have been a great partner, and it is great data for you guys. And I'm sure we'll take a look at stuff here a little bit during the playoffs, especially if you guys have requests, things you want to ask for. But really, you want to make money. You want to make money as simply as you possibly can. Use quality products that you know people who are winning a lot of money are doing. And I'm not saying myself. Talk about the people that are on the Discord for Unabated, people that are sweating everything. Captain Jack's posting over there. They have a lot of legit bettors there that rely on this data to make legitimately their money for the entire year. And if you invest yourself the same way, you'll probably get similar results. So check it out, Unabated. All the bets, 30 minutes for a tip-off, 5% or higher ROI. Place them, and you'll probably get some extra money for Christmas. I don't know. What summer holidays do we have? For Mother's Day? Whatever you need extra money for. All right, so it looks like Stokastic has not updated their sim at all. We'll run it. I'll run it, but I don't think this is going to be the most helpful, if I'm being honest about it. So Stokastic, another great way to support the show, too. If you want to check out their affiliates, all their packages down below, 15% off is the deal you'll get here. And that's off all the data, all the sims, no matter what sport. Obviously, NBA, you can get in there for the rest of the playoffs if you want. You can also get in there for PGA if you want to play some NASCAR stuff this weekend, because all the DraftKings advertising is getting to you. MMA, NASCAR, MLB as well. Of course, I'll be doing more of on this channel. Check it all out with Stokastic. Click the affiliate link. Another great way to support the show is you get a product for it, and I get half the money you pay to Stokastic. So we stick it to big corporations who are perfectly nice to me and pay me. That's it. And join the Discord too. Really prepare to hear more Discord plugs, guys. The more members we get in this channel, the better. So I can keep doing this the way I want to do it throughout the summer. Because unfortunately, the summer is not going to be a good time for converting stuff as much as NFL season will be, as much as NBA season will be. But we'll do the best we can with MLB here and make you guys feel good about the data. That's the hope here. All right. This sim here. Playback would be cool. Luke and Kitty running around. And to be clear, I don't think that Luke and Kitty would be running around on my playback stream. I've grown very uncomfortable with having my child available on the internet over the years already so far. But yes, I think that playback just hanging out on the couch. I don't think playback would be cool with me smoking weed. I think that'd be one of the issues. But I am very open to playback. Puppet playback as well could stay. Puppet playback getting hijacked by gay porn 10 minutes in. No Hitler would win you some streaming awards. I mean, Puppet playback, Puppet Linquist doing the playback stream. He'd probably love it. He'd indulge. He'd say, please don't kick me off the channel. Let me see more. Let me see men. This is what Puppet. All right, why not? Let me see men. Ah! All right, there we go. All right, your top ROI lineups, again, with outdated Stokastic data here. They have not updated yet for all the madness because I'm sure they're trying to do it all in one batch as late as humanly possible, which I get. But as it is right now, Jared Butler, AJ Lawson, Justin Champagnie, Josh Hart, Alex Sarr, Garrett Temple, Carlo Makovic, and Nikola Jokic in the top projected lineup. If you get Murray in, Jokic is going to come down. If you get Carlo out, obviously that's going to fuck things up too, though you will get Robinson Earl more. That'd be the biggest changes I could see happening from where the data's moved from. But as is right now, it's Stokastic's number one lineup. Number two, Jared Butler, Kevin Huerter, Justin Champagnie, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Alex Sarr, Garrett Temple. There's a lot more Garrett Temple than I would have thought. Julius Randle and Nikola Jokic. So Jokic again makes it in. Number three, Jamal Shed, Lester Quinones, Michael Porter Jr., Precious Achiuwa, with the assumption that Towns and Brunson are out. Nikola Vucevic, Garrett Temple, Justin Champagnie, and Nikola Jokic again. At number four, Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Justin Champagnie, Precious Achiuwa, Goga Bitadze makes this one. And that is before they ruled out Carter, I think. Right? You have Goga getting 23 minutes. Yeah, so they had Goga in the top ROI lineup before Wendell Carter got even ruled out. So I think it's worth noting here. I would imagine that Stokastic will be big fans of Goga like I was in my projections as well. Tyler Hero, Kevin Huerter at number five. Justin Champagnie again. A lot more Justin Champagnie than I would have thought. Precious Achiuwa, but he's like a projectable guy, so it kind of makes sense. Tristan Vukcevic, Jared Roden, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Nikola Jokic. So Jokic makes all five. Champagnie makes he makes all five. More Garrett Temple than you want to shake a stick at. Player ROIs here. Never had kids online at all. The thing is, like, I wanted to be okay with it initially, and then like last summer, one guy got weird, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can't fucking do this. I can't. There's one thing that makes me happy. So it's just how it goes. With like where you're in the quote unquote public spotlight, as much as this is a public spotlight, but you don't make enough money from it to make it worth your while. And it's like, cool. I can't show my kid off because one guy's got to be weird about it. Which is not worth going into more detail. But that's why when you wonder why I crashed out on the NFL best ball streams, that's why. Miles McBride, 48%, top ROI player right now. That's crazy. That can't hold. that's not the value I'd want the most. You would need me to get Josh Hart, Anunoby, Brunson, and Towns out to take McBride this seriously at 5,100. The Stokastic loves him right now. Garrett Temple, 44% ROI. Goga Bitadze, 28% ROI. And that is before all the Magic guys got rolled out. So Bitadze should come up exponentially. Jared Rhoden, 25% ROI. Precious Achiuwa, 11. Scottie Pippen, 10. Campaign, 7 here. Campaign, I'll feel a lot better about if you get Hart and Anunoby out as well. Top exposed players before whatever updates that'll come on Stokastic that you'll have to pay to check out for yourself, I guess. Nikola Jokic, 88% exposure, fields at 87. So Nikola Jokic in basically every lineup. That would certainly change if Murray is in. I think Jokic will still be a good play, but more like a 66% play, I think, maybe 50 even. Jokic would come down a good amount because Murray will produce if he's going to play. Justin Champagnie here, 60% exposure, fields at 28. So Champagnie they love, mid-tier guy, has a ceiling for sure. I've been up 1 fantasy point per minute today. He's a good producer, so I think there'll be better, more appealing value that opens up projection-wise. But Champagnie could stand the test of time here tonight. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 53% exposure, fields at 57. So a little bit under on Robinson Earl. That would certainly change as well for the positive Carlo Makovich route. Jared Butler, 47%, fields at 30. So pretty big stand on Jared Butler here in favor once again for Stokastic. Nikola Vucevic, 33%, 28% for the field. And Butler, for what it's worth, this ownership would make sense to me if Grimes were out. If Grimes is in, no chance. Garrett Temple, 29% exposure, fields at 4. Really big stand on Garrett Temple for Stokastic. And Jared Rhoden, 27% exposure, fields at 8. So top guys, Jokic, Champagnie, Robinson Earl, Butler, Vucevic, Temple, Rhoden. Highest leverage guys before all the data updates: Champagnie, Garrett Temple, Jared Rhoden, Jared Butler, double Jared's up there. Scottie Pippen Jr., Goga Bitadze, again, before all the Magic updates, does speak a lot to what he will be post updates. And Kevin Huerter. And your most negative leverage guys, Antonio Reeves, negative 38% leverage on him. That is a big anti-stand on Antonio Reeves. Definitely easier to do that if Alvarado's in. If Alvarado's out, I would have a hard time. Alfred Payton, negative 25% leverage. Carlo Makovich, negative 14% leverage. Jamal Cain, negative 10% leverage. So the top 6 negative leverage guys are all Pelicans, which is interesting. Hard to do that again, I think, if Alvarado's out. But Keon Brooks, Lester Quinones, and then Anthony Edwards. So all Pelicans. The Stokastic Sim hates the Pelicans today is where it is. Achiuwa and JRE in the same lineup. Didn't do it yesterday. Not going to make the same mistake today. Well, you know what? The good thing is that the points from yesterday count for today as well. And don't worry about being happy these days. That's true. Nobody is. So I got to do taxes still next week. So that's going to make me also very unhappy. But guys, I appreciate all you watching. Again, one more run through the plugs, and I will give you guys my last round of regular season splash plays here on the channel. But please do show some love here. It's been a long season, but I still showed up and do the work pretty much every day, every Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. I'm proud of my consistency, if nothing else. But more than that, I show up and do the work because I hate being wrong for you guys. I also hate being wrong from a place of stupidity or not doing the work. And I do the work as much as I can to avoid that here every day. And it's going to be the same case throughout the playoffs for NBA. If you're going to use my projections as well, that you can get down below, or if you're just going to watch along with me for some MLB streams and NBA streams here, that'll be what we have going on here. But try to support the channel if you can right now, guys. So this for me is like the wilderness of like conversion time period. So your support goes a long way, whether it is, subscribing, joining the channel, whether it is joining Unabated, using the projections that they have, link down below. Just check the link and then go over there and convert if you want to. Stokastic, same thing, 15% off on there. And of course, joining the Discord, please do support this kind of content if you enjoy it, because it's the only way it can keep existing, especially in the summer. My splash plays for the day, though. So I think for me, it's got to be Bitadze, number 1 with a bullet. I like Obi Toppin. I do think Arcathelza earlier in the chat made a good point about Obi Toppin being part of the rotation, maybe some risk there. I'll still play a good amount of Toppin, but I do think being mindful of the fact you have guys that are bigs that they could play instead of him. If they want to save him for the playoffs, they can do that, but I still think he's a top play for me. Antonio Reeves, I think, is a top play. I'll feel a lot better about it if we get Alvarado out. Jared Rhoden, AJ Lawson in play as well. You have no Jacoby Walter, no Barrett. Really, I don't think Barnes should play, but he might play. Kind of a weird spot for them. Jokic, if you get Murray out, is absolutely one of my core plays. We're going to have to wait until 9 o'clock to know that. It's going to suck. Hopefully we get news on that earlier. Robinson Earl, if you get Makovich out. If you don't get Makovich out, both Robinson Earl and Makovich are in play. Those are the top values right now, but it could move around a little bit. Bitadze is the one, though, I feel really concrete about in terms of the value guys right now. And that should not change no matter what happens here. Thank you for the kind chats as well, guys. I appreciate it here. And good luck to all you guys here down the home stretch. Of course, make sure to gamble responsibly no matter what time of the year it is, but especially these fucking dumb shit days of NBA. It's always money time here, though, no matter what. Follow the channel at Splash Play Bets. Follow me at Chris Spags. Hit the like button before you go. And I'll see you guys again soon. Hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, because it probably won't be a normal 4 p.m. thing, because that was mostly a contractual thing with Unabated. Now I can do it at a different time period that might give me some more views. So stay tuned here soon, though. There'll be more. I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your season. And, of course, good luck. Bye-bye.